Welcome back. Week 9 of football kicks off with 5 conference games that are all division matchups. Florida Atlantic travels to number 22, Marshall.
I tell you, this is going to be a good game because obviously Marshall won that game last year in the final seconds. But you look at the quarterbacks for these two teams. We already talked about Rakeem Cato and what he has done. Both are dual threat quarterbacks. Cato tied for the league lead in touchdown passes. You look at Johnson, Jaquez Johnson, averages almost 267 yards offense per game. He's got 10 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing scores. And I think the bottom line in this football game, who's going to make the least amount of mistakes? Marshall can't turn the ball over because they're going to pay for it on the other side.
Well, and Cato and Jaquez Johnson are both great signal callers as well. North Texas was the only CUSA team to defeat defending champion Rice last season, and this week they meet again in Houston.
I'll tell you what's exciting about this game is we're finally seeing the Rice team we thought we would see at the beginning of the year. They're getting healthy. Now for North Texas, Andrew McNulty, he's going to be getting a second start at quarterback, and I think that's big. You've got to have some consistency at that position. I know Dan McCartney does not want revolving quarterbacks. McNulty obviously the third to start for the Mean Green this season. How are they going to react after that disappointing loss where they gave the effort last week against Southern Miss? It's going to be a tough game for them, but if North Texas has any hopes of going to a bowl, they've got to win this football game.
We've struggled recently really trying to find a quarterback, but they're a very well-coached football team. You look at what they're doing defensively. They're playing great defense. They're playing really great special teams, and I think they're just trying to settle in on a quarterback. They've got a lot of experience offensively, and it's one where we're going to have to play our best. You know, it's a conference game. We get them at home, and we're going to need to prepare well before this football game. You can't look at their schedule and think that's the type of team we're playing, because it's not. If you look at it that way, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Louisiana Tech and Southern Miss renew a long-standing rivalry as they meet again for the 46th time.
I tell you, this is going to be a fun game to watch. Number one, Southern Miss is playing with some confidence. Think about it. They have not had a 2-game winning streak for about 3 years now. This has been a good year, and they're getting the confidence. But that confidence comes from that offensive line. I think Todd Monken's done a great job moving players around. They're starting to gel. They're starting to process the information and processing it quickly. That allows Nick Mullins, who has had a couple of straight games that have been outstanding throwing the football, that allows him to get the time. I think this is going to be a fun game with Louisiana Tech. Watch out. These guys got some confidence.
We always talk about the geographical rivalries, those schools that are within, that 2 or 3 hour window. And we talked about Lafayette and having the in-state. Then with Southern Miss and having us with a 45-game series history between the two schools. Obviously, there's tradition here. There's history here. We're 3.5 hours away. We recruit each other against each other. We're now in the same conference. I think it's very competitive. I think 3 of the last 4 games have come down to the final possession or 1 possession, if I'm correct in saying that. But I mean, it's a rivalry game, and it's one that we're excited to be involved with. But I definitely think it's a huge rivalry.
A couple of teams with record-setting quarterbacks and high-powered offenses meet when Old Dominion makes its first visit to WKU. ODU's Taylor Heineke leads all active FBS players in passing yards, while Hilltopper quarterback Brandon Dowdy has topped the 300-yard mark in 5 of 6 outings this season.
Well, we talk about Rakeem Cato, then you talk about Jaquez Johnson being 2 great quarterbacks meeting head-to-head. This is another one in Conference USA. I mean, you look at Brandon Dowdy. He has topped the 300 mark in 5 of 6 outings this season. That young man is not only accurate, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And then Taylor Heineke averages almost 260 yards a game passing, second in the league in touchdown. He's already thrown 18. This is going to be another great quarterback battle. I tell you, I wish I could do that game. That'd be fun.
An emerging West Division rivalry will be showcased when UTSA hosts UTEP at the Alamo Dome. The Miners have been strong in running the ball and controlling the clock as they prepare for a Roadrunner squad that is second in CUSA in rushing defense.
Yeah, you mentioned the key in the ball game is controlling the football, because you look at UTSA and UTEP, both hold the ball for more than 30 minutes of ball game. That is huge. Now for UTEP, they're coming off a bye week. They had a chance to get healed. They have a chance to self-scout themselves. Jameel Showers coming off one of his best games of the year a couple of weeks ago, and I think he's getting a little confidence. For UTSA, rebounding. I mean, from the loss last week against Louisiana Tech, They also still have bowl hopes, but again, a must-win situation, and the key, can Austin Robinson, who's the third-team quarterback, he'll be making his second consecutive start, did a nice job last week, had a long scramble for a touchdown. Can he continue his progress on that, and can they make the big plays in that football game?
Is it hard for the offense to repair with not being settled at a quarterback position?
I think, Larry Coker is one of the best in the business. I'm telling you, he understands this. He has faced this before, no matter where he's been, and I think they're making Austin Robinson comfortable. Usually when teams have a young quarterback, he's a redshirt freshman who has not played a lot, they simplify the offense. They talk to him on Monday and Tuesday and say, what plays do you like? What plays don't you like? And they keep him out of the plays he doesn't like. They want to build his confidence, and I think the game plan will be surrounded about that fact.
Let's take a look at the Week 9 schedule. The only non-conference game of the week, UAB travels to Arkansas.
We get a chance to see Jordan Howard and Alex Collins. Jordan Howard from UAB. They were the two best freshman running backs last year. Jordan Howard of UAB, third in the conference rushing, averages over 100 yards a game. And I'm anxious to see how that Arkansas defense is going to be tested with the pass. That's going to be a key in the ball game, but I think two good running backs we're going to see.